Hi everyone, good afternoon, morning, or whatever it is for you. Welcome to another stream on Saturdays for our project for the used car website using Livewire, Laravel, and Filament. Today we have a very short, well, I say very short agenda. There's only three items, but I'm sure it's going to go at least 45 minutes. The first thing I want to do today is to add a little bit of a polish. No, sorry. First thing is to add the price for the car so I can show some more information on the car that we already had showing. So we're going to add a car price to, we're going to add a new test for it, and then we're going to add it to the table, the filament table that we have. Also, I want to polish the list a bit, because if I remember correctly, the list was, I didn't quite like the size of the card, and also there were some visual problems with it. So we're going to fix that today. And hopefully, if we have time, and I'm sure we will get as much as we can done in starting the admin panel. I want to start with the admin panel of the car so I can add new cars, add images to those cars, etc. So we're going to start with that process and see how far we get. So thank you for being here. I don't see anyone in the chat just yet, but yeah, let's just get going. Let's get started. Let me switch to my presentation mode like this. I'm a little bit off center. That's better. Okay. Maybe a little bit down. There. So my head is a little bit poking out of the circle. All right. So let me switch to VS Code and let's start with the card. Let's start with the car price. So as always, we are going to add a new test, and I believe the file was called car list test. So we have the test for showing list images. Let's add another test for it shows the car price. Actually, let's the formatted car price, because the price is going to be an integer with, well, integer with so it's going to be currency, so with floating numbers, but I want it to be formatted when we show it. So let's choose the formatted car price. We're not going to store it as we're not going to store it formatted in database. That would require a string, and we don't want that. But we are going to show it with the currency and $, etc. So what do we need here? Let's grab some of the setting from the previous test. We don't need so many cars. Maybe we just need one. Let's grab this one here. So I don't really care about the brand. So we can just omit the brand in this case. And I don't really care about the model or year either. What happened here? There. Yeah, I don't care about the model or the year. The only thing that I care about is the price. The price is going to be, let's say, maybe 10,000. Did you know that you can do this? So that you can, instead of using commas, actually you can't use commas, but just you can separate the 1,000. You can use an underscore as 1,000 separator for your integers, which is quite interesting, I think. But yeah, that's 10,000 is going to read as an integer with regardless the underscore. And what I want to do then is I want to, first of all, do live word test like this. Maybe we can grab this whole thing and just put it here. Like so. Obviously, I want to assert that everything is okay, and then I want to see specific text, not an array, just one line. And one line, since I'm going to be formatting this text, I actually want to, how do we do this? Let's take, well, do we want to use an attribute for this? I think I want to use an attribute for this. So in that case, I can just say, I want to see, let's use the number facade with the currency method. And let's use just that same number, 10,000. So what that's going to do is going to add the dollar sign or whatever currency you have set up in your system, depending on your localization. In this case, it's going to be a dollar sign, and it's going to format this as a currency. So that's what I want to see. And this is obviously going to fail. But when that fails, I'm going to go to the model and add an attribute that I can use to display that same formatted price using the exact same facade and method. Let's save this and let's run it. Hold on a second. Yeah, everything's good. Let's run this and see what happens. Obviously, we don't have a price column in our table cars. So let's go ahead and do that. I believe it's create cars table. That's the migration file. Let's add a string column table, not a string column, sorry, an integer. Let's call it price. Okay, now the problem is that we are not showing that. So now we have to go to, since we're using filament tables, we are going to go to the component, the car list component. And right now we are, what are we showing here? Layouts, views. Oh, right. So we don't do this in here because we are showing a custom HTML content for every row. So we have to go to the row content. Not even the row content. We need to go to the carousel card. If we go to the row content, we have a liveware component called carousel card, and that's the one that we need to edit. So carousel card. And let's see, where did we put the title? Here. So this is where the car information goes. Right now it's just brand, model, and year. Let's add, for now, let's just do a paragraph. And let's just display the price. We can format this later. So this would be car price. Okay. The reason that is failing is because, like I said before, I want that to be formatted. Right now it's just showing up a number, an integer, but I want it to be formatted. So for that, instead of using car price, which is the default value without formatting, let's use an attribute, formatted price. So now let's go to the model, our model. And in here, let's add a protected function. Formatted price. So, and this is going to return an attribute. And the class is Illuminate Database Eloquent Casts attribute. Yes. So here we do return attribute make, and we need two callable functions where we can have two callable functions, one for the getter and one for the setter. I am not interested in the setter, so just get. Let's do get. Let's do a shorthand function here. This function, it typically receive one or two values. The first one will be a mixed value, but this is if this was associated with a column, which is not. What I do want is an array. Second attribute is an array of attributes. Second parameter is an array of attributes. And this is an array, associative array, with all of the values from the model class, including the price. So here, I can just say, again, number from Illuminate support, currency, and we use attributes price. Oh, not that, here. I think this is going to turn into camel case. No, sorry, snake case. If not, I'll change the method in the carousel card here. Let's try it out like that. Pass. Awesome. Perfect, perfect. Come on, do it. Perfect. Okay, so we have a price. Now let's go and check that in the browser just to see how it looks. For that, I believe I'm going to need a Vite server. I'm going to create another terminal here and then do run dev. And because I'm using herd, this should already be in localhost, not localhost, Laravel used cars, got test, right? No. Oh, Laravel. If I can type right. There it is. Okay. So, yeah, there's the price right there. Formatted as a currency. We can always add more more detail, more formatting to it, but for now it looks fine. What I do want to do is work on the card itself. Right now it's I don't like the size of it. I want it to be way smaller so that I can fit more cars per row. So the inspiration for this project is a site called CR Autos. See how many they fit per row. In large devices, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on large devices. And see if I can see this in This will be on mobile, 1 row. I expected that. And on medium devices, that'll be 4. So 4 on medium, 6 on large. Let's see. So that would be in the car list. Right now we're doing 2 for medium and 3 for large. For extra large, actually. So let's do 4 and 6. Let's just see how it looks. I'm going to remove this comment here, left over from when it was not agreed. What's happening? Come on. There. Okay, so yeah. 6 on large and on medium will be 4, but still it's way too tall for my liking. I want it to be like about this size. So let's play around with that. How do we do this? Also, I don't know if you can notice, but there is like this, let me zoom in so I can show you. Do you see that right there? That little corner? I hate that. It seems like the picture is rounded, but the container is not. So let's go and fix that first. Where is that? It'll be in the not row content, carousel card, and this here. This is the card. And this is the content. So within that, we have another div. And we have buttons for previews and next. Those are fine. This one's the one that is not. Oh, I think I already see why it's not doing it. See this? BG white and then right away rounded. Kind of got stuck together. I don't know why. That's probably it. Yep, that was it. It's gone. Perfect. All right, now let's work on the size. Let's make them way less taller. So I think there's 2 places. First one is the root div right here. It has a minimum height of 72 on small devices, and then a minimum height of 96 on medium and larger. And that's about 384 pixels or 24 rem. So let's try and like bring that way down. Maybe half of it. Like, I don't know, 44 maybe? But like I said, there's 2 places. That's the root one. And then there's the image itself, which I believe also has a minimum height here, 80 and 52. So on MD, I want it to be the same. About 44 actually as well. This is the actual image of the picture of the car. There. That looks way better. Almost like this one, but I kind of like it more. It's a little bit more chunky, but that's actually a good size. Let me see it on, that's large. It's medium. Medium still a little too tight, a little too tall. Hmm. So how about if we do 40 instead of 44? Will that make a difference? Yeah, I think that does make a difference. I feel like it's less. It's maybe a less than an inch, but I do like it better like this. I think less than that is just too small. Also, why I thought I didn't notice before, but there should be like a navigation item here that would indicate, first of all, how many pictures there are, and you can click on those to move around the pictures, but I just noticed that they're not here. And I'm pretty sure I had them. I added them. Like, yeah, this right here. There is a div and there is a span. And these are the circles, but why are they not showing up? Flex justify center absolute bottom -5 so that they go below the image. Sorry. There is a span itself with 3, and there it is again. See, H3 and border also got stuck together. That's pretty sure that's the problem. Yeah, there it is. Okay. I don't know why that got stuck together. And I don't know why I didn't notice. And I don't like the color. I don't like that blue. Let's make it just, let's not worry about colors right now, actually. Let's just go with, instead of blue, 600. Let's go with, I don't know, slate 800 on light mode, and then slate 600, or actually, yeah, let's do 600 on dark mode. I'm not even looking at dark mode right now, but it should be slightly brighter than the background, which I believe is like gray 900, something like that. So 600 would actually pop up. So that's here, and let's also do this one. Slate 800 and slate 600. Okay, yeah, I like that better. It doesn't really take your attention away, and you can still use those to see the pictures. Okay. What else? No, I think that's pretty much it. I wanted to do like the border, the navigation, the size. I think that size it's acceptable. Yeah, yeah. Let me check the chat real quick. Erin, hey Tuto, great to see you back. It's great to be back. Thank you for being here. Willie, just waving my hand. Does it take into account the aspect ratio? Like in what manner? I believe it would. I mean, I'm not even think about that. I'm not even thinking about that, but I think the default template does take that into consideration. Let me just check real quick. Layout. I think this thing is what takes care of aspect ratios on all devices. I think that's why I never even think about that. That's like taken care of for me. Very basic setup. And that's Breeze, by the way. I didn't do that. Well, not even Breeze. I did create this. No, that was Livewire, actually. But yeah, I believe that's taken care of. Thank you. Vugar, hi Tuto, how are you doing? I'm doing great, Vugar. Thank you. Thank you for being here. You are a regular, and I appreciate you for that. Thanks. What if I add an image, Willie says, in vertical as opposed to horizontal? I believe the setting that I have for this is that in the carousel card, I'm putting the image as a background and I'm centering that with no repeat. So if instead of horizontal is vertical, I think if the car is centered in the image, you would still see it. It will just crop the top and bottom and like place the image dead in the center. Of course, you have to be careful. You can just take a picture of the car and just the car be like way too high, way too low. You actually have to take care of framing it correctly. But yeah, it just takes the picture no matter the orientation and just put it as a background on that div. Make sure that the image covers the entire container and it's in the center. That's how I've placed it in the styles here. Darn spaces. Yeah, I know. It's those my arch enemies are spaces, commas, and yeah, spaces and commas. I'm blanking out. The semicolons, I think I've gotten used to those. I don't miss those as much as I did like many years ago. But spaces and commas, my God, I miss those. Also, I have mild dyslexia, so numbers in general, I just mix them up completely. I can read a number and just swap digits like no other, and I wouldn't even notice. Willie, by the way, if the height and weight are the same, can you use size, aka size 3? Yeah, I could. Yeah, that's a good point. I think I use size for icons. I think so. But yeah, that's a good point. Height and width. Yeah, I got it. So yeah, thank you for being here, Will, Erin, Vugar. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Let's and for taking the time to talk to me. Let's keep going. Let's see the agenda. I think we're doing pretty good time. We already have the car price. We have the polish of the list. I kind of like how it looks now. So I think the one thing that we can move on to is the admin panel, and we have like 30 minutes to get that going. So yeah, let's start by going to the documentation because I'm going to need the entire panel builder for this. So let's go to Filament Docs. Get started. Let me zoom in. Panel builder. And let's do this require because I don't think we have it. Clean up this a bit. Do we have it? Let me see. We do, actually, 3.2. That's fine. So we have Filament installed. So I think the only thing that we need to do is create a, do we have a panel already? If I go to admin, no, it does not have a panel, or maybe this browser is a little bit finicky. Or maybe I never run the artisan installation. Yeah, I did. I never did that. So I installed, but I probably never run this PHP artisan filament install panels. Let's do that. What is the ID? Admin is fine. And I already did this on GitHub, so no. And what else? We already have a user. Is that user going to be the same? Let's see. Create a user. I already did that. Oh, I already have a user. So let's try it out. Although the model probably needs some tweaking. Don't think I have a user though. I don't. Actually, let's create one. Filament user. The name, let's call it whatever. Me. Okay. We have an admin panel. We have, what we need now is, we need a resource. I'm debating myself if I want to do testing for this, because I've done it before in the previous course. So I don't know if I want to go that route. It is important, but it might be too slow for my liking. I kind of want to move a little bit faster with this area and just leave the testing for the user facing side. So yeah. Oh, you want tests? Well, okay. Which should have highlighted the missing between class names. Well, I don't have anything that highlights that kind of errors in my VS Code. Should be a plugin for that, shouldn't it? Sounds straightforward. Sounds like something someone would have thought about. But yeah, I don't have that functionality. So okay, let's do testing. Let's start testing the user resource. I'm going to rely heavily on the documentation for this, as I always do. So let's move into testing and testing resources. lists, routing and render. To ensure that the list page for the post resource, in this case is going to be the car resource, is able to render successfully. It can render a page. It's just doing a get. I think I can do this slightly different because we're doing best. This is not, I don't think this is, well, it is best, but it's doing something different. Let's just do something similar. First of all, let me check the folder structure that I have right now. Feature, car list. Kind of want to have this in admin. So let's do pest. Sorry. PHP artisan pest test. Let's call it admin. How do they call it here? Since I'm testing a post resource or a car resource, let's just do car resource. Jeez. Car resource test. First test, it renders the resource page. So kind of look like this, but instead I'm going to use get, which is use function pass Laravel get, which is exactly the same. In this case, I need to call a resource that doesn't exist yet, and it's going to be called car resource get URL index, and then assert that everything is okay. Do I need to be logged in for this? I probably need to be logged in for this. Yeah, here we go. Acting as, I need to create a user, and I probably do want to have this in the setup at some point. For now, let's just call acting as user factory create. And yeah, I'm gonna move this to the setup function at some point, but for now I just wanna move it along, you know. Let me guess. Car resource not found. So let's create that. Was it? Wow, I haven't done this in a while. Can't believe that.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if I had to provide the entire name or just the model. My apologies. Okay, we have the car resource class. Now let's import that class here. Test again. 403. That means not authenticated. How so? My guess is the model class. Yeah, this has to be modified for Filament so that any user can have access to the panel. Let me see, where was that? Needs to implement Filament user. Yep. I apologize if I'm regularly going back and forth between my code and the chat, so I don't have it up already. So I'll be doing that. So if I don't pay attention right away to what you're saying, Willie, I will eventually. But yeah, you're right. I need to implement the filament user. And that means I need the can access panel function. Give me a sec. This takes in a panel, but in this case, I am not going to worry about that. I'm just going to return true. It's not doing it. Come on. Okay, so we have a resource. That's the first step. Next step is making sure that in that resource, in that index, we can see basic information about our listings. So back to testing. Testing resources, list. Let's test the table. So it can list cars in this case. Basically just create a few cars and make sure that Sir can see table records. It's very straightforward. So let's create a couple. You can use the other test for this. Car list test. I don't care about the brand name for now. Neither any of this. So I can just do 2 here, or 3. And let's put those in records. Now this is doing using the livewire function, but I don't think that works. Then we have to do livewire test. And we need to use the resource pages list. In our case, we have it in resources. No. App, filament, car resource list. We already have filament resource, car resource, so we can do car resource pages list cars class. And then assert, what is it? Can see table records. And then pass those records in. Class car not found. Probably brand as well. Ooh, what did I do? Integrity constraint violation. Oh, I need the price. Okay, so the price is not nullable, but it's not in the factory yet. Let's actually fix that. So that'll be in the car factory. There's not a price. Never mind. Number between, I don't know, 5 and 10,000. Okay. We can see the records in the table. That doesn't mean, by the way, that we can see anything. It just means that the table has those records in memory. Not in memory, it has those records, but now it is up to us to add columns to the table so that we can see those records rendered. Is there a test for that? Create, nope, it's not. And I don't know if we should actually create one. Are we worried about, do we want to be like specific? I want to see this, and that in the table, but because that can be very variable. Going back to the chat. Did my link get removed? Probably, because I don't see any link. YouTube is a little bit finicky about that. By the way, there is an uncommon filament plugin that generates all sorts of tests for you automatically. That'll be awesome. Index is default. You can omit that underscore. Where? In the get URL, you mean? So if I remove this, index will be default. Okay, didn't know that. Thank you. You can do car and car resource. Good to know. Implement. Yep. Missed the beginning of the video. Rewatched. And now did not know about the underscore thing. Yeah, I mean, interestingly, I don't know when that was added to PHP, to be honest, or if it was there, but I came to know about it fairly recently. Get URL. Yeah, I changed that. Thanks, William. So yeah, I don't feel like I should be adding specific tests for specific columns. That can change, and it's very easy to break. So as long as the records are in the table, I can just, I'm happy with that. And apparently the Livewire dog people are happy with that too, because that's as far as they go. I don't know if I want to, let's do this. Creating a car is going to be a whole can of worms, because we have to deal with files and uploading files, and the column that holds those images for cars is actually a JSON column, so we're going to have to be able to upload multiple files at once and be able to preview those files. So I think that's just creating a car in the admin panel sounds like a whole thing for next week. So that's going to be the first thing that we're going to do next week. So this feels like a good stopping point. Let me just mark this as kind of done, but we will continue to work on this next week. Specifically, creating cars. That's going to be its own thing. Dealing with uploading files, that's going to be very interesting, especially because of the JSON column and multiple files and previewing those files, etc. So yeah, I think we're going to leave it here. I didn't mean to do that, but that was awesome. Thank you very much for everyone for showing up. And as always, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.